What is up? This is the part 2 of my hood that I've airbrushed. I've had it done for a long time. Between complications with my computer and having videos scattered throughout it, just haven't had time to work on this stuff. It's been done for a long time. I've been wanting to do it. I'm just gonna kind of recap through the first video here and we'll go from there. I'd like to start throwing some more content out here because of health reasons, so I'm going to be spending a lot of my time inside. Haven't been able to paint a whole lot. I've got a few videos of different things I've done that I'd like to get out, so we're just going to recap this first video here and we'll get to the second part where we'll see a lot more color and all that jazz. I'm just going to go through step by step, kind of talk about what I've done. I've got well over 40 hours in this thing. This is just something I wanted to play around with. It's gonna be, it's an art piece in my garage right now. So right here I had a Airbrush Explosion. I had dirt in the tip and went to blow it out and it shot right out of the top of it. I don't normally use the cap, but I was pretty mad. I stormed off and didn't know how I was gonna fix it, but it actually turned out pretty well. I wet sanded it and used a rag and all kinds of stuff, and it actually it's kind of a cool moment. I started wiping off all the white, and you can kind of see the black part, I guess the smoke you'd say, smearing. I dropped the hood right there. That was pretty fun. But it kind of made it a cool smoky effect, and I started to like how it turned out, so I just kind of went with it. Like I said, this is my hood, so it was just practice. But it gave it a really cool effect once I got all the dots and everything out from the paint explosion. So I started laying in the layers and laying in the white layers. I wanted this to have tons of layers, tons of dimension, get tons of practice. Of course, this is sped up pretty heavily. So moving into the first layer here, I'm putting down the first design of the flames. This is going to be kind of the background or backdrop of the flames. I want there to be a lot of layers. This first layer here is going to be red. The reason I'm going with white right now is because it's a bright backing color to put your base color onto. So if I was to do this white design here in red, you wouldn't see it. It'd just be a muddy, blurry mess. So you put white down, then you put your color over the top of it. So we're going to start with a red color as the background, and then we'll work our way through the different colors of flame. So red, then orange, yellow, and some white as the highlights, and you'll see that towards the end of the video. But right now you can see how that just kind of sunk the flames like right back into the hood. It looks natural to be the backdrop of the flames. Right here I put some like a hand cut skull decal on there, so I'm gonna start with some more layers over the top of this decal, and what that's gonna do is I'm gonna peel it all off at the end of this, so you'll see like the face of the skull, and that'll give me my lines where I can freehand the actual skull and make it look all fiery and sunken into the hood as well. So I'll just sit back, we can watch the layers being bundled over the top of that. I'd like to get more into doing videos like this. We're just gonna recap the first video because it wasn't that great. I did that video a long time ago, and starting to get where I can do some better stuff, and I've got several projects I'd like to come out with, and a few paint jobs of guitars, and a car I did some flames on, and maybe some gaming, my iRacing with my simulator. I'd like to do some videos like that too, so watch out for those in the future, and hopefully I can get some better content out. Right here, I'm starting to put in my orange layer. You can kind of see it starting to take on a real fiery look. And then I'm going to go back over it with a little bit of red, darken it up. And then I'll get back into doing more layers, add some yellow, just give it more dimension. I mean, in the bottom left corner, you can kind of see where it's really dark red, and then there's some orange highlights in the same design, and it just really looks good. You can see my cats in the background. We had kittens at the time. That's pretty funny. But right here you can see where I'm peeling those decals off. Then you'll start seeing the skull shape. And this right here, actually, I mean, it wouldn't look bad if you just went ahead and clear coated it, but it looks very two-dimensional. So right here, this is when I'm going through the outline of all of the skull. I'm just going around the edges, filling it in. There's just spots you'll see where I just start seeing natural shapes and curvatures of the face. And this is something I just practicing and learning on my own. I don't have any classes or schooling on airbrushing at all. I've just taught myself basically everything I know and resorted to YouTube when I need to. It's kind of funny whenever I got into doing this. I'm not really an artistic person besides this. I have horrible handwriting. I can't draw. It's just bad. I got into this because I was racing RC cars at the time, and I just started painting some bodies for them, and people told me I was a pretty good airbrush artist, and I was just using spray paint. So I kind of got into airbrushing, and I saw the realistic fire, and I was like, that's pretty awesome. I want to do that. And I got an airbrush, and I just started practicing all night, just on anything I could find. Xbox, mailbox, I mean, you name it, cardboard, just anything I could get my hands on too. I just started airbrushing it. It was a big learning curve. I mean, airbrushing alone wasn't too bad. It's just keeping your brush clean, keeping your paint at the right consistency, and learning about keeping your layers super thin. It's very easy to build up too many layers of paint, and it's one thing I struggle with. I had to do a lot of research on all of those things, and it's pretty hard if you're not going to school for that. But I toughed through it, and I still have minor issues just because I don't do this every day, and I have so many different hobbies. But I think this turned out pretty awesome. And this right here is where I start getting super excited. The face is taking shape. Right now you can just see the white, but once I start adding color to it, that's when I'm just like, this is looking pretty cool. Right here I'm just going back over the white with the yellow, and then I'm going to go back over it with some orange and red just to kind of blend it in with the background. You'll kind of see here, like, when I go over it with the orange and the red, you'll be like, oh man, you just ruined it. But once I start going back over it with white again, you'll see it's starting to match the background, and the skull looks like it's a part of the fire in the background. So that's the reason I did that. And I'm going back over all the gaps of the face and in the eye holes with black just to give it that really, really deep shadowy look. And then I'm going back over it doing highlights, and I'll blend those in again, and you can just see the face just starting to come alive at this point. It looks pretty scary. I know a lot of people, when they see it, just like, oh, that looks creepy, and that's the point. But I mean, even if you're not a skull and flames person, I mean, it's just cool, all the layers and the work that goes into it. I really spent a lot of time on it, and there's people out there that can do this without putting so many layers down, but to me this just it's the way that works for me. So right here you see the yellow highlights in the face, and it looks really good on camera, and at the time it was actually like way too bright. So I'm gonna go back over that with some orange to blend it in with the actual flames, and you'll see that here in a second. But right here I'm painting the tips purple and blue, just kind of give it that realistic bluish purple color you see in real fire when it's really, really hot. But that's pretty well it. I don't have any footage of it being clear coated or anything. I had someone else do it and it turned out awesome. But I'll post a finished picture right here, and thanks for watching the video. Hopefully I can scoop out some more videos like this, and thanks for watching.